Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS. It's your boy General Engineer. Banana. And right now, I feel like I need to do a long intro because this guy has done so much. He basically, I want to give you credit. Before I introduce him, he's he's the person responsible for the next wave of new artists that are going to emerge from Durban. The majority of them.
I'm not going to take credit for that.
I'm giving you. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think right now.
Okay.
This is me giving you credit.
All
You're a
right.
pioneer, sir.
Thank you.
You started something out of nothing.
Yeah.
For me, that's very inspirational. That's very motivational. It's something to learn from. So you are somebody that people can learn from. And you didn't just stop there. You've gone on to create more platforms, so to say, for you to share information, share knowledge, and give a different perspective, which is much more real. And even in your music that you're still producing till this day, independently, might I add.
Yeah. Very.
Very independent.
Yes.
You're doing that so successfully, effortlessly. And
Thank you.
I appreciate you. You are here, for people that don't know, sitting across me is Aewon Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not about to give up his government details and all those
It's
kind of
okay.
things.
Arnold
Yeah.
Phillips.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to the GNPS.
Thank you for having me, Musa. I'm glad that I'm here, actually, very much so, because it's Durban based and I love what you're doing.
Yeah, we celebrate heroes here, man. This is a platform for heroes such as yourself.
Yeah.
It's rare that you find somebody who's so invested in helping people without expecting anything in return, especially in these times.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's very rare. Like I'll agree with you, definitely. Like it's rare to find people that have that mindset, but they're there, and I think we as people just sometimes overlook them, and it feels like sometimes that the people that are out there doing things, and everybody does something like in their little spaces, and like there's people out there doing things for their neighbor, driving them to a gig or something, or person just buying a CD from a friend, and those things like help in such a big way, especially for unknown talents or people on the come up, and those little efforts that are done in their circles need to be celebrated, and I feel like a lot of artists also forget the people that do those things for them. And it's like when you are giving me credit for all these artists, like I the reason why I say I don't take credit because like it's yes, there's things that I can do in the position I have, in the positions that I've been in, and I've been blessed with opportunities and stuff. So I've been able to put on and help a lot of people in certain ways to get them further and get them where they need to be, and maybe at the right time before they give up on music or before they give up generally in life. But those people have many hands that brought them to where they were, and it's like if they even come through to do an interview like this on this podcast, and then someone watches a podcast like this and says, hey, who's that kid? I actually like him, like let me check out his music, and then he gets a call to come do something in Joburg, and then in Joburg he gets an opportunity to like progress and become bigger, like those things matter. Like these things that everyone is doing matter, and at the end of the day, it's all up to how they take those opportunities and they take those gifts given to them by their friends and family. So there's people who've been blessed and don't see it as being blessed.
Yeah.
That's
so true. That's so true.
So
a lot of people, but you know what I think. It's like, when you're helping somebody, it should never be about you getting anything in return from them.
Yeah.
You should understand that whenever I offer help, I'd
Yeah.
like to offer it, freely,
Yeah.
in the sense that I
No
don't expect
T's
anything
and
from
C's.
you.
Yeah. With no T's and C's.
For me, I look at it this way: when I help somebody,
Yeah.
it's more like me. I'm not really. I want the lamest way I can put it. I'm
Mm.
just buying myself a favor in future.
Yes.
It doesn't have to come directly to me.
Yes.
You could find yourself in a situation as somebody that I know,
Yeah.
and because I did some deed,
Yeah.
and you come to me and ask for help, and me being able to provide help
Yeah.
in that state, it's
Made a difference.
it makes a difference. That's still life-giving favor to me because I'm
Yes.
able to help somebody closer to me. So it's not only, it doesn't have to always come back to you directly.
No. I definitely agree with you. I'm a believer in a thing called karma.
Yeah.
So karma is like, it seems like it's an Eastern philosophy. It's foreign to us when you say karma, but
Yeah, terms.
yeah, but this is just a term for, I think, something that is a universal law.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you look at the Bible, like, I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
so in the Bible there's a lot of referrals to principles that are karma based. You sow what you reap.
Yeah.
Like everything has a return. So if you literally live a certain lifestyle, there will be a return for that lifestyle. There's a consequence to every action.
True.
So it's for me the same thing. When you do good unto others, good will come back to you.
Definitely, man.
If you cause evil unto others, evil will come back onto you. And it's like, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And there's a balancing for everything. So at no point do I ever feel like when I do something good for someone, it's never going to come back.
Mm.
So at the same time, you might say that you shouldn't do it expecting anything, but it's like, well, I do expect something.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't expect anything from that
From
person.
from that person.
That
Exactly.
person can decide,
You could pull up your middle finger after that. It's fine.
exactly, and walk away like I never did nothing for
Yeah.
you. But I know there's going to be some kind of return from the world or from the universe
Yes.
that will repay me, whether it's repaying me in the fact that I have peace, and the fact that I'm okay in the ways that matter, or repay me with the actual blessing, like an actual, like, tangible
something
blessing,
tangible.
It you can never say what it is.
Mm.
Like, I just had incident happen to me. I got robbed in Joburg.
Hey, man.
Yeah, they
You
stole
told
my
me
phone
about
and then
it.
they hacked into my accounts.
I was so bummed out that I started getting paranoid. I'm thinking,
Yeah, like, it's crazy, but
because
it's like,
cyber crimes are real, man.
yeah, it's a real thing. And and when it happened, I was just like, it really threw me off. And there's so many, like, things that were, like, trying to force me to be angry, trying to force me to be, like, better.
Change your energy.
And it was just like, this thing is a test, and it's a test. And at some point, I remember I just, like, went back to my room and I said, okay, let me put on YouTube and search for, positive biblical affirmations.
Yeah.
Like, something that's gonna, like,
trying to keep you in the right space of mind.
Exactly. So when I did that, I watched the YouTube and I watched these, like, there was a calming that happened. Like, I got it, like, a lot calmer. And I just felt a lot better in the situation. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I started being like those issues with the hotel. The hotel didn't want to let us see footage and stuff. And this was bothering me, but I never, like, fought with anyone about it. But, like, there were people fighting for me. Like, there's people who came there from the TV show I was shooting, and they were just, like, fighting with the hotel, like, this whole time. And I was just, like, letting them. I was just like, okay, if they want to do that, they can do
Let
that.
them do their thing.
But, like, the next day, like, I remember I even, like, went and I talked to the lady because she was still in the shift that was, like, and I was like, that they were fighting with, and I was like, thank you for everything. Like, I really appreciate that you guys let me call and whatever, and like the little efforts you guys did, and like I just started feeling better every time I was like started trying to be thankful.
Yeah.
The cops showed up in time in the morning when they were supposed to take the case. Like things got a little bit better, and it's always like when you decide to let go, things work out. Because then every time I like got dragged back into it, even when I get back home, my girlfriend is like she can see, like, because now I'm tracking these guys. Like they started showing up on my phone app, and then it's like, okay, I can track these guys. Like this,
you can
so
see.
now, so now I'm getting dragged back into it, and I was just like, because I have to open the case. There's finding out how much they really stole, and I found out they're still trying to steal. They like
shit. Wait,
those things.
Well, are we allowed to mention the?
Yeah, but this will be done, but I'm sure. But like, like by the time this gets out, like this is already done.
Okay, but no, it's an ongoing investigation. Yeah. So I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, what I gave you is not even like like stuff they could use.
Yeah.
But but point being made is that I was being dragged back into this mess of being like, okay, I want to catch these guys. Damn these guys. You know, like being angry and it's like I'm really trying not to be angry, but my girlfriend, like, she spots me like from a mile away. She's so intuitive. She's like let go, and I'm like, but I'm not angry. She's like, no, just
You're
let
still
go.
Holding on.
Yeah, she's like, just let go. It's just a material possession. I'm like, but I'm not bitter. I'm just trying to like get these guys off the street, whatever type of thing. Like,
don't let it happen to another person.
She's like, yeah, okay, do that, but don't get too caught up. Because I was ready to fly to Joburg to go help the cops and make sure that they do the job. I was ready to pay a private investigator to do the job if the cops weren't willing to do things. I was just like, I was in that mind state, and she's like, no, let them do what they do. You just live your life. Live your life. So like, she put me in check, and I was like, okay, cool. And every time I was like, when I said, okay, cool, there's a calming that happens. Like, things become clearer. Then, like, immediately when I think it was crazy, like when she said all of this and I did start to let go, money came into my account.
Oh.
Like, money I didn't expect. And I'm not going to, like, give specifics, but, like...
You were not, like, being paid for something?
Not being paid for something, that was owed for a long time, exactly. And it's, like, a lot of, like, quite a bit of money. I was like, okay.
Look at you, all that energy that you're investing in those emotions.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, let go. This is a good thing. Then later on, like in the same week, somebody comes to me and says, I've got a second phone that's similar to the phone that's the same as the phone that you had. Insurance is paying me out whatever for a phone. I already bought another one now. Whatever they give me, so I'm gonna have two phones. Do you want it? Just pay my excess. I was like, oh.
look at the world. Look at life.
And like, and I'll say this. It sounds so crazy, and I even said it to her. We had this talk, and I was like, there's something big that's coming. That's why this incident happened. Yeah. She even like asked me, because she also believes in karma. She's like, what did you do to get this bad karma? Like, for the incident to happen to you? I was like, I didn't do nothing. Yeah. But technically, you're always doing something. Like, you
don't pay attention.
Yeah, there's always something that like then you can, watch illegals. You can illegally stream, and that's stealing. That's karma that you get for watching something for free instead of paying your Netflix subscription.
Or you download somebody's music from some illegal site. Exactly. When we have streaming platforms where you can download the music.
Exactly. There's always be something small that justifies why bad things happen. Yeah. To good people.
Absolutely.
Even good people are doing things that are not exactly right.
Yeah. Bro, we've been speaking about life. We're still gonna get back on that. I just wanna bring you to the music a little bit.
Yeah.
You've been away on a should we call it a hiatus or
what? Yeah, you can call it a hiatus. I don't even know what to call it, because it was just life for me.
Yeah.
Like, for my side, it was just life. Like, I gave it. I had to like quantify it so that it makes sense to other people. Because like when I left, or and see, when I say left, I didn't really leave. I was just
make it sound like you retired.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I just, and I was gonna retire the name Aewon Wolf. I said, okay, you know what? Let me just kill the name Aewon Wolf and just like come back fresh.
Yeah.
With the totally new name and make it clear that I'm not the same person that you remember. Because like between the years of 2014 and 2016, I was pushing like Sketchy Bong and myself were pushing, like we were on a mission.
You guys were, high on production.
Yeah,
so to say.
we were in the streets and we were like constantly trying to make sure we were getting the platforms, we were getting the opportunities, we were fighting for everything that we wanted in the game. And that's when we had like the ability to help other people when we were pushing, you know what I mean? That's when we brought people to the Wolf Pack and created the Wolf Pack and everything else, and we were able to bring in, the first time we started bringing in new musicians into the game that were from Durban, because
with the Wolf Pack.
Yeah, which is what we had fought for. We created the opportunity, so we're like, or the connections. So we're saying, okay, let's use our connections to put in the guys we know in Durban that deserve to be in. Like, not even deserve to be in, that are not given
an opportunity.
They just choose, you know what I mean? It's like, then they're just not given an opportunity. And like, just because they don't know the right people. We know the right people now. We had to go through a lot to know the right people, but we know them now. So why don't we make their parts a little easier than what we had to go through, you know? And at the same time, it'd be mutually beneficial. Because at that time, we were thinking like, the point of, and I based the whole Wolfpack concept on Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually taken from Wu-Tang. Like, I
mean, you see what we were talking about earlier before the podcast? Looking outside the window.
Yes.
And seeing what's happening inside and trying to create your own.
Try to create your own, exactly. It was basically that. And Wu-Tang Clan, and then, like, then there was YMCMB.
Yeah.
Which other like collective?
There was Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, there were collectives. Yeah, there was Wolfgang. I don't know if you remember Wolfgang.
Wolfgang. Who was Wolfgang?
The Wolfgang. It's basically Tyler the Creator, Frank Ocean, and Sweatshirt. Yeah, like that whole collective.
Yeah, I used to call them Kanye's kids.
Yeah, that's a good name. That's a good name. But I was looking at them. And they all were derivatives of Wu-Tang. So I looked at the original. So the idea was like, okay, cool. You have this collective of artists. They're all independent. Yeah. They're not signed to the label. That's why I didn't consider it a YMCMB situation. I considered that
it was a Wu-Tang type of.
So they're all independent. They all got their own thing, but they work together. So that when you see one, you seeing the rest.
Yes, all the other individuals.
Exactly. So that we use each other to create a stronger fire. So like if we have 1 coal, 2 coals, 3 coals, 5 coals, we have a bonfire, you know? Like,
absolutely.
So if one person right now, you're not exactly hot, or you don't have the energy right now, whatever, you are still kept hot by the ones around you.
You're feeding off of the others.
Exactly. So that was the concept. I was like, okay, cool. So right now we hot. Sketchy and myself, or it was me first, then Sketchy. I was like, okay, cool. Sketchy, like, you're gonna be my DJ. Like, he was just a producer, like he used to DJ for me because like I used to force I need a DJ, and he'd be like, yeah, I'm here, bro, like I'm ready. So it's like, okay, cool. And then he created a whole persona, and then we started like trying to force to do gigs, and then we started with Sketchy Bong and Aewon Wolf. Like we started doing gigs as that.
So you guys sort of like expanded the performance, so to say.
It became a double.
So you get a 2 for a price of 1.
Exactly. It was pretty much that, because what ended up happening was Red Bull caught on to our music. We were making like alternative, very weird music at when we started, because that's what we wanted. Our space was like, okay, let's create your own market. Let's create something new. Let's force our own style. Trap wasn't like a big genre like it was now. Then. No, it was not existent at all in South Africa. And then there was a thing called EDM trap. So EDM trap was like I don't know if you know a guy named Bauer.
Bauer.
Yeah, there's a guy named Bauer. Like he was like the father of EDM trap.
Okay.
At that point, he started working with was it Timberland? Yeah, I think Timberland. And Timberland was trying to study this trap. Yeah, this EDM trap and stuff. So like we were interested in this. Like this is a new type of EDM that's actually hip hop based and stuff. And it's like because it was drawn from hip hop. At this time, I had no idea that there was actually like the original trap, because I remember trap music being what T.I. used to talk about.
Yeah. T.I. was the one who was pushing
he
trap.
created trap, you know, the name, especially the name trap came from him. So I knew about trap music, but I was like, oh, there's a new type of trap music that's EDM based. That's weird. That's that kind of weird that I would like to plug into.
Yeah.
So we started listening to more of that stuff, and we got into it, and we were trying to create that here in SA. So we created trap music. So we started calling our music trap, but it wasn't like what everyone thinks trap is or whatever. What's the understanding of trap? It was more based in EDM trap, but we wanted to make it more South African. Yeah. So we did our own thing to it.
Yeah.
So when we were doing that, it was sketchy about, and so Red Bull got a wind of this, and Red Bull really liked this idea. So they started forcing us to perform together.
Oh,
like they're the ones that started always putting the lineup Sketchy Bonga Aewon Wolf, Sketchy Bonga Aewon Wolf. So they put us on literally every stage they would have in Durban whenever they had shows or whatever, and they'd be like, "Can you guys perform? And can we put a Sketchy Bonga Aewon Wolf?" Because we were releasing this music,
and that's where everything basically
that's where it started
for you guys.
Kind of started there, and then they made us like they used to have these information sessions where you like sit and give talks,
like in a panel.
Yeah, panel, and they call us to be in a panel to talk about this new music that
you guys are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, was that something that you guys prepared for? Or
No,
something that you just...
We didn't even know. Like, we didn't understand, like, why they're so amazed with this thing. Like, because we were trying, like, we just kids messing around. And there was a club called Origin.
Yeah.
Where we used to do shows.
Yeah. I remember you guys used to host performances.
Yes.
I used to live up the road.
Oh, okay.
At Devonport Square.
Makes sense. That you know, because it wasn't, like, the biggest thing. But it's, like, we had, like, a core network of people and friends. And we had these crazy shows there. We used to like this.
I remember.
Basement.
It used to be packed.
Yeah.
Cars would park right up the street.
It was wild.
it was wild.
And they had there's a place called the Basement, which was like the wildest part of the whole club. And then
and that's like it's a dungeon. I used to say
it was a dungeon. Yeah.
Let's go down to the dungeon.
It is the dungeon. But anyway, then there was the Wood Bar, which you also place we used to play, but like. That's where we kind of built something, and then we said, okay, cool. I've got these connections I've got in Joburg, because I was in Joburg before I came back to Durban for 2 years under JR. Like JR wanted to sign. I was in a group.
So you were going to sign with JR?
Yeah. So JR wanted to sign us. So I was in a group called.
Makes sense why JR wanted to sign you guys at that time.
Yeah. So he wanted to sign us. So. That was before I came back, and then we started this thing with Sketchy Bonga, and I created Aewon Wolf. Aewon Wolf was created after.
So what did you go as before? What was the stage name?
Silverback. It was Silverback. The name of the group
makes sense. Yeah. Aewon Wolf. Silverback.
Silverback is gorilla. Yeah. Went from gorilla to wolf.
It's furry.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So when I spent those 2 years in Joburg, Jar introduced me to a lot of people. That's why I'm always quick to thank JR. Like if you look at my social media carefully, you'll see I thank him like quite often,
yeah.
You know, type of thing, because I made connections during that time with people, genuine connections, and these are like, I'm not even saying that it wasn't real or that I use those people or whatever. It was genuine connections in those 2 years, and went through a lot of struggles in those 2 years as well, because it wasn't easy. Being in Joburg without like a secure job or doing anything. I had to come back to Durban and do what I do for money, which is host parties.
Yeah.
So every time when I host party, come back, make a little bit of money, go back to Joburg, and then hustle under JR.
Dude,
you know?
you were a hustler, man.
Yeah. So
People don't understand. Like, I mean, you speaking about all these things that you had to do just to
Yeah.
get your foot in the music game.
yeah, this is the history. Like, if people want to know how it happened, they're gonna watch this podcast.
Absolutely.
have to.
Sorry to cut you. That is
No, it's okay.
back to the house parties.
Yeah, so I throw the house parties, make money, go back to Joburg, hustle under JR, recording this album we were supposed to release with him. But there was a whole lot of other stuff that happened that never allowed it to happen. So in the second year, the guy who was recording our album for 2 years, house got broken into, and then they stole the whole project that we were working on for 2 years. And it was like JR was also tired as well at that point, and he was like, hey, sorry, bro, like, I'm gonna have to work on my album, so you guys can wait to do your project again, and then we'll start again. I'm like, nah, not gonna add another 2 years. It's cool. And luckily, it's amazing how life works. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that happened around my life at the exact same time
Yeah.
as this happens that just said, go back to Durban. Stop this. This road is done. Like, you've reached the end of this road. Go back to Durban and start something fresh. So I came back to Durban. I literally, if you want to say, kill the group. I didn't kill the group. I just said, okay, JR, you own this group. You have this group. If you want to release the music, release it. Whatever you have, or you can recover, whatever, release it. But I'm starting something new. And if you decide down the line you want to bring back the group, I'll be available. You know, that's literally what I said to him. And then the other guys in the group had a talk with him. He was also not happy with it, but he understood. So then Sketchy was the producer I worked with from way back. Like, we had that friendship from
Before
way
you
back.
left for Joburg.
Yeah. So like, when I was working with JR, I was working with another. I don't know if you guys know a guy named Muzi.
Yeah, Muzi. I
Muzi.
think he's pushing his own sound now.
He's big. Like, he's
Yeah.
big now. Like,
He's big. I saw
big.
he
worked
has
with
a song
Coldplay.
with
He
Chris Martin.
Yes, he
Yeah.
produced for Coldplay. Not even Chris Martin. Coldplay. Like,
Okay,
like,
wait. He's got a song that he produced for Coldplay?
Coldplay, yes. And Coldplay's
Damn, shout out
official.
to Muzi, dog.
Yeah. so like, yeah. So Muzi, I had found here at medical school, actually. And he was producer for me at this point when we were Silverback, when we were doing this whole thing with JR. So I found him, and then Charlie from WTF. I don't know if you know Charlie, Ox Cable. Yeah, so they were like a duo production team, and they had the WTF thing. They were WTF actually.
Yeah.
And then those two other guys. But I was like, cool, you guys gonna produce. So they were producing for me in this time because me and Sketchy had a fallout over something that happened before that, which involved another person who wanted to sign us. So it goes back. So when I came back, Sketchy was like, yo, bro, I'm sorry for everything that we had, like the problem that we had, whatever. Now that you're back, let's work, bro. Like, I'm ready. I went through, he talked to me. He's like, I was going through this at that time that caused this. I was like, cool, I got no problems with you, bro. Like, like, you're a brother to me. Like, I feel like you're like my little brother. So let's work. Went back into studio with him, and that's when we created this whole, got a new direction. We got to create something
new
fresh.
sound.
Yeah. And that's when we started this whole mission. So that's the backstory to how we did this whole thing with Red Bull and everything, and it built up from that. So with those connections I got from Joburg, and now this buzz that we created from the new sound and this new scene that we were creating, I was like, let me see if I hit them up. Will it work? Because we've got something here.
Yeah.
And I know those people, they only would, like, they cool with me and they really like me. So they just waiting for me to give them something.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me plug this. How about that? Are you interested in this? And they're like, it's a little weird.
We're not used to it.
We're not used to this. This is some offside stuff. Like, we're not sure what's going on here. So there were a lot of faces pulled, like in the beginning. They were like, we want to help you, you know, we'll play it. We'll play it on TV once or twice. But yeah, like give us something else, like type of thing. So because our stuff for music was alternative.
Wait now. Well, it's
There,
like,
you
okay,
can search for it. There's a song called Gumnandila.
let's look for it.
Yeah, it's Gumnandila with OK Malum Cool Cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. And that's like high order. I mean, you got some great people on there.
Yeah,
You got Malooms
Yeah,
and yourself.
no, exactly. So like, and there's a sketchy bongo, Aewon Wolf and Malum Cool Cat. There's a song called Gumnandila. So that video was weird, and the song was like what the EDM trap we were talking about.
You were
It's
talking,
that South
yeah.
African EDM trap, and it was so weird. I don't think people understood.
Oh, this is like 5 years back.
Yeah. So it like I remember even it popped up on one of these shows that MTV was hosting, and they had guests talking about what's the weirdest video that's out right now, and then like one of the guys who's a friend of mine, Laryngitis.
Laryngitis.
Yeah, he's like, Aewon Wolf, and they're like, at that time they're like, who's Aewon Wolf? Like we don't even know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like that video is weird, man. It's got OK Malum Cool Cat, and it's just a weird video. And I was like, and when I saw that, I was like, he's right.
Yeah.
That's what I want. It's the point of the video. But if they get it, they get it. They don't get it, they don't get it. It's okay. So that was like the first breaker.
Yeah.
Then with this whole plugging and whatever thing, I get this call. I remember it was so weird. I had a song that was more conventional.
That you had
Yeah.
produced.
No,
Did you produce this because
No.
they'd asked for it, or?
No, yeah. I had a song that was more conventional, and
Yeah.
it was sampled. We sampled Sipo Hostics.
Okay.
So it was burnout.
Burnout, yeah.
Burnout. Yeah. So we remixed it and sampled it. I actually got a hold of Sipo Hostics.
Give the go ahead.
Sent him the song. Talked to his manager. They liked it, and they were like, for me, I thought that was all the permission I needed,
Yeah.
type of thing. So next thing, we playlisted on 5FM, and like, what? We got playlisted? It's like 5FM, that stage was massive.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. So, and they
It's still
playing
huge.
the song.
It's still
yeah.
huge, yeah.
And they played the song, and then other stations started playlisting the song, and we're like, what is going on here?
You after you'd given them this new sound, and
Yeah. And at that point, they didn't understand this new sound.
it just flew under the radar.
Yeah, so like they totally liked this burnout, whatever. They played it, and then I get a cease and desist letter from, what's the name of this label again? Gallo. Gallo sends an email to me. No, they try to call me or something. Yeah, they emailed and then they try to call me, and they're like, yo, you know the song is using one of our songs, whatever type of thing. But I'm like, I spoke to C Posistics, it says song. And they're like, no, we own it. I was like, huh?
No.
They're like, no, we own it.
No way.
I was like, okay, alright, cool. That's weird. Then they send me an email with actual official paperwork. They like, in the paperwork, like, it doesn't matter what he says or what he thinks or whatever, he owns 0% of the song. And I'm like, what is going on? Is this the kind of deals that our heroes was having to sign back in the day? Like, I'm sure they can overturn this.
Wait now, Aewon. Are you telling me that Sipa Sticks Mabuza doesn't own Burnout?
According to what Gallo's
didn't.
the papers that they had given me,
It's their property.
it says 0%.
It's
and
their
it does-
intellectual
yeah,
property.
They own it, and they're like zero. He owns 0%. I didn't understand. I was like, how is that impossible? Because at this point, I was not clued up with like the music industry, like
the registering.
I wasn't clued
getting
up with all that stuff.
copyrights and all.
Copyrights, exactly. I didn't know what the hell were mechanical rights. I didn't know what the hell this right. There's too many rights with music. But I didn't understand anything. I was just like, But what do you mean he's got? Like, it's his song. I know he sings it.
Everyone knows it.
Everyone knows. I've never heard of you guys before. Like, until, like, I only heard about Galo from the other perspective. Sorry, when they were doing stuff with, I forgot, Squatter Camp or someone.
Yeah,
but
it was
like,
Squatter Camp and.
But I've never heard of the Burnout or Super Hot Sticks. Never heard you guys like were involved. I had no idea, and it's like, yeah, well, that's the case. And then I even Googled like these people, because Facebook was like also freely available.
Did you think it was a prank or some shit? Like
yeah,
someone's trying to play.
I searched these names of these people because they got the names of the actual owners as well, like the people. And I'm like, it's all Afrikaans guys with farms and stuff.
You're lying.
Yeah, like from their Facebooks. I searched on Facebook and I found them. I'm like, and you can see that, from Galo or whatever, the executive producer or something like, and it's like, they're all farmers and the Afrikaans guys. I'm like, so this is how they got these farms, because they're exploiting our black talent.
This is how they maintain it.
Yeah,
because it's still paying.
It's still paying, and there was still like plenty ads and song like TV plugins with the songs. I was like, okay,
and here you are.
You're
using it. Well, they weren't really saying you can't use it. They were basically saying pay us to use it.
And no, here's the thing: is that I even said to them, because my whole intention was, if it comes out, I'm not planning to make a cent from it. I don't want a cent. Because that was what I was pitching to them. I even said like, the day might come where Sipo Hasex himself will come and say, well, listen, the song is big now. Let's talk about splits. And I was going to say, have 100%.
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for him or his manager to contact me and say, well, let's talk about the splits. How we splitting this money, like how we, whatever, for the plays or whatever. And I was like, in my head, I was just like, I'm going to give him 100%. Like, because this song is just to break. It's just to get in.
Yeah.
And I would be thankful for that opportunity. So I was like, gave him 100%. That was the idea. Give him 100%, whatever. But then these guys were like, okay, cool. We own it, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Since you guys own it, how about I just give you 100%? I don't mind giving you guys 100% of this thing. They're like, who you signed with? I'm like, I'm not signed to nobody.
Yeah.
They're like, are you interested in signing? I'm like, no, I'm not interested in signing. I want to be independent, but I can give you 100% of the song. They're like, okay, we'll call you back. Are you sure you don't want to sign? And I'm like, you don't want to sign with us? Like, like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm good and independent. And they're like, okay, fine. Drop the phone. Email. Cease and desist. That's when I started getting the lawyers' letters. And they're like, nah, remove the song. We need the song to be removed from all radio stations, wherever you've
So wait, so basically these guys were trying to strong arm you into signing a deal with them?
Yeah.
They can sign you?
It's what it felt like. It's what it felt like, because they were open to talks until I said I'm not willing to sign. And they were pretty adamant about the signing part. So
obviously it's not because the song was bad. They liked the song because they were going to keep
they're like, the hardest part for record labels sometimes is getting a song playlisted. Is getting a song that actually can do well. So record labels are always looking for a hit or something that they know they can make money.
Rule the airways.
Yeah. So I given them that. So they
just need you under
them so they can control everything. And if there's more, I must produce it for them.
Yeah.
Instead of this song necessarily becoming the biggest thing, and then I go give it to someone else. I go give my juice to someone else or sign with someone else. I think that was the thinking, was like, okay, we can't give this guy this juice of this hit, and he goes and then somewhere else, and then they benefit.
Yeah. Or even you. I mean, even you, since you insisting that I want to be independent.
Exactly. So whatever the reasoning was, it didn't work out for them. So I had to remove the song. And this thing, like, for me at that time felt devastating, because I was like, I finally get a break.
I feel like that's the harshest way of being introduced to the real music business.
And you're like,
Because music industry is like, yeah, okay, that's something. But business, when it comes to music business, people, they speak a different language there.
it's rough. Like it gets really rough. Music business is business. It's exactly what it says. It's
Yeah.
business. So like I think people forget that, and there's a lot of business involved. That's why record labels are out here to make their money, and it's just business. Like
It's not personal.
it's not personal. Like I don't like. It sounds like now it's all emotional and I might be making people look bad, but this is normal business practices.
Yeah.
Like if a company wants a certain person or whatever to join their company, they're gonna give terms to suit them. To
Yeah.
like make sure you come to them.
And if
like-
you don't agree on
Then
they're
gonna
not
take away-
looking to, okay, fine, you can go make your own success elsewhere. It's
exactly. You need to benefit our company.
yeah.
And
If it's not benefiting us,
then go. And we're not going to help you. We're not going to give you anything that's going to help you. And then you might benefit another company. It's like,
yeah,
it's business.
yeah,
So I don't take any of this personal. I was just like, well, at that time, sorry, it felt personal.
Yeah.
That time, now I'm a lot wiser and older.
yeah.
But at that time, I was like, oh, geez, these guys are so, like, why are they being so mean?
But where do you find the resolve of holding your own, bro, and being like, yo, when you have a major record label like Galo coming at your doorstep and like, we want to sign you,
Yeah.
where do you get the guile to like, okay, I know, chill, I'm good.
It was basically from my experiences before with the whole JR thing. And like I said, before the JR thing was another thing. Another label that wanted to sign us, which was a subsidiary of Universal. And every time the contracts came out, and at this point, at least I had my education behind me, so I could read contracts.
Yeah.
I always read the contracts and I was like, this does not look good. This is bad. And then I'd do my research and find out, because I had like OGs like Slicker and other people who like I could call friends that would give me advice, and they say, no, that's a good contract. I was like, what do you mean that's a good contract?
You're lying.
Are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? And they were like, no, that's a good, like in this industry, that's the standard, and you getting better terms than most people.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, so this is how these guys are living. It's all show. It's all
it's not real.
It's all a facade. It's not real. Exactly. I was just like, so for me at that point, I said, okay, if I'm gonna make it, if I'm gonna break into the music industry, you can't necessarily do it. The label will make you look good, but not necessarily be good.
Yeah.
Because they'll own you, literally own you,
and own you and own everything that you produce in that time period.
And I mean, you kind of seeing it now.
Yeah.
You kind of seeing it now, and it's like, and you're only seeing it now because
we can talk about it.
There's social media.
Yeah.
You started, and back then there wasn't like, Twitter was not even a thing at all.
Yeah.
It was just Facebook at that point, and even Facebook was not like, you couldn't get like society to support you and help you in that kind of way if you're being screwed over by a label. It was like people, like what people are going through now, yet they able to survive or still come back now because they get support from people via Twitter, because they're exposing the labels, and the labels are now like being shown for what they are, the terms that they're putting the artists in. So people are rallying to help and still support and push them. Before, they could kill you. Like, they proper could like just leave you dead in the water with the power they had that you give them in a contract.
You just become buried.
Because they all they had to do was just tell a radio station, no, you can't play this guy.
Yeah. And at
we own his music.
Some wicked story about you. Going off the trails or something.
It's easy. They had the newspapers on call, so they could just call the papers and feed them whatever they wanted to feed them, so the public would perceive and believe. They could go on TV, and any TV show that you would be invited on, and say, no, you can't have this guy, we own him. And then the TV station's not going to question it, because they're like, well, we got no pressure to like give this guy any airplay,
Yeah.
and we kind of know he has a contract with these people. So yeah, well, we're not gonna play him. We're gonna avoid the lawsuit.
Yeah. And mind you, radio station that's a business, or TV station
Exactly.
that's a business.
They
so
don't
they don't
need
want
drama
yeah.
for a kid that means nothing to them.
True.
You know? So that's why I was like, I don't want to give that power. And at that stage, I was like, I can't give that power to a label to just control me and then shut me down if I don't play along.
Yeah. Now, 5 years later, where you're sitting now, when you look back, all those decisions, some of them, even though you made them purely just because there was something that you did not understand going on, how much has those decisions worked for you, or maybe you feel like maybe you could have done things differently?
There's a lot of decisions that I could have definitely done better. With hindsight, you always can always look back and say, well, that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
That could have been done a lot better. And if you live like that, you'll always be mad at yourself. So there's a lot of things that would have saved me time. Let's put it that way. And there's things and that's basically how I've been helping kids and how I've been effective in helping kids. Because I went through so much and I learned so much that I can give you the tools to make better decisions. I can give you the knowledge to make better decisions just from my own experience. So when someone comes to me and they say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, and this is what I got, and I believe in what they have, and I'm like, how about doing it this way? It will save you the trouble of going through what I went through. How about trying this? Don't waste your time going there. Something as simple as telling someone, don't go there, go here. Did you know about this? Maybe you don't have to go give up all of this to this person. Hold back and try this avenue. What is it that you need? You need money? Do you know you have access to money through this? Did you know this? And then people are like, no, I had no idea. Okay, thank you, bro. And it makes a huge difference. So it's just all those experiences that I went through. I'm grateful I went through them because they've given me knowledge and power to help. So, yeah.
It makes it much easier for you to understand the next person's situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I completely understand. And you can obviously see with the warehouse project that you started. Now, how did you get to a position where you decided, okay, I'm back here in Durban and I've introduced this new sound and it's kind of working because you've attracted a major sponsor like Red Bull to work with you guys on a regular basis, and also you have the Wolf Pack.
So going back to the 2014-2016 period, this was when I was pushing Aewon Wolf and the Sketchy Bong, and the Wolf Pack thing started popping up, and it was getting wild and was getting great reception and was doing really, really well. And we had a lot of endorsements. That's when we had the Cell C endorsement. We had there was a Bacardi endorsement. Before that there was a Jägermeister endorsement. There was a Heineken endorsement. There was so many endorsements that were going on at that time.
You guys are basically you guys initiated the wave of the influencers, so to say.
We were doing the influencer thing before it became a thing.
Exactly.
That was actually crazy because the endorsements, and my reasoning for it was it's hip hop, hip hop, and I'd seen it in America. Hip hop is the most influential music in the world. It doesn't have to be the biggest. It's just it has the power to influence. Because it's more than just music. It's a lifestyle. So if a hip hop artist talks about Hennessy all the time. If I rap about Hennessy, like Pac rap about Hennessy, best believe Hennessy's sales are gonna increase. You know what I'm saying? And there's lots of examples where that has happened. because hip hop is that it's about talking and it's about selling you, hey, this, and someone's gonna, hey, I want to be that, I want to live that, you know. I also want to be the guy with, you know, those things.
Yeah.
When he says he's got a Maybach, I want a Maybach. You know, it's like if he says he wants a Benz, I want a Benz.
Yeah.
It's like it has power. So I was just like, I used to like use that to sell, because hip hop was just becoming a thing in SA. So I used to sell that element to brands. And we're like, guys, why are you guys not using hip hop? You know we got influence, right?
Yeah, and we
might not be the biggest, but we got influence.
There's a whole culture just waiting for you guys
just
to embrace
waiting
it.
for us to tell them what. You know, we need to tell them what, you know, what cell phone network to be with.
Yeah.
You know,
and not only tell them but show them. I
exactly. And it's like that whole sell worked. Cause like look now, so many brands are using hip hop artists.
A lot.
It's become like everywhere now. Like
everyone is getting a deal.
Exactly. Back then there was literally like nobody that was out there that the biggest guys. I wasn't big.
Yo, listen.
Yet.
You know, even in Joburg, like I remember back in 2008, I think Durban was the first place where you could get like a sneaker deal. Because I remember dance crews used to get deals with
DC shoes. Yes, I was actually with DC before like, all of this. Yeah, so DC was one of the brand deals and endorsements that I had. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. It's crazy that you have a brand as big as DC shoes out here partnering up with kids in Durban.
Yeah.
So we already kind of had that culture because we knew that we could do it, and we had done it with DC. We were like, okay, cool. And we kind of do it with Red Bull.
Yeah.
But Red Bull has a whole culture of doing that anyway. They do that with all kinds of musicians.
Yeah.
So even Black Coffee was actually.
But I mean, like amongst the, like, you know, black South Africans.
Yeah.
And black South African artists, you guys were like, you know, kind of the first
to push
batch,
that.
you
Yeah.
know?
And it's like when we started that, we had no idea how far it will go.
Yeah.
But we took advantage of it in 2014 to 2016. And it was good. Like, so we pushed and we everything was good. But end of 2016, that's when things switched for me.
Yeah.
That's when like things were put into perspective, because this whole time I was just like, I had a chip on my shoulder. I was trying to prove a point, trying to be the best, trying to, you know, like, why am I not being given my just dues? Like, people need to respect what we've done. Like, do they know how many doors we've opened? And I always had that chip on my shoulder.
Can I ask you something while you're still on that? Is that a thing with every artist, like, you know, to want to get recognition and let that be, let that speak for your work? Like, you know, the fact that people are saying, okay, they're giving you dues, and so then only you can say, okay, now I feel good.
Yeah.
Is that a thing for artists or for you?
I think that's a thing for artists in general, not just musicians.
Yeah.
I think people who are creators want that affirmation, because like, what's the point of, like, when you think about it, like when you create and you exhibit, what's the point of exhibiting?
Is to show
people. To get affirmation from people to say, hey, this is good, this is nice, you know. And then you now have affirmation that your creation is good.
Yeah.
You know, like that affirmation will always be there in artists, regardless of like whatever stage they're at.
Yeah.
So the only problem that happens with this is that you can never get enough affirmation.
True.
And there's always another level. So there's always like,
because and so does your work. Every time you produce, you take it to another level.
Exactly. But it's like, when you look at people, you just say, okay, if my girlfriend comes and says, oh babe, I love your song, that's nice. It's like, but does everyone else like the song? Then you go out and you say, okay, cool, let me play it for my friends outside. They're like, hey, yeah, this is a nice song.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nice song. And then you're like, that's nice. What does everyone else who's not my friend think? Like,
you always have.
Then you try to like get
You're
another level, and
It's
then
like you're trying to conquer an audience.
yeah, and then this is the crazy part, and this is where the poison in seeking this kind of information comes from. Is then you have one friend comes, I don't think that sounds that good. I don't like it. Then you immediately switch off the 20 friends that said they like it, and you start focusing on this one person who said they don't like it, and you're like, but why don't you like it? And you start like, nah, you must be a hater.
Yeah.
But what makes you a hater? And you start focusing so much, and like you stop seeing the 20 that have given you positive affirmation before. It's crazy how one negative,
That's so true. That's so true.
one negative response will negate the entire like field of people who have already given you positive affirmations. Just because of one, now you've forgotten about them. You switch them off, and you put this one in the spotlight, and now you want to attack this one, and you're like, no, I want to show you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove you wrong. and when you do that, it's a rabbit hole. It's like
and you're wasting time.
You're wasting time, and you just get deeper and dug in, and that's the problem with seeking affirmation, is because there's always going to be someone who doesn't like it.
And that's so true.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So 2016, change of events. You in a different mindset.
2016. This was at the end of 2016, I realized because of and I don't want to get into it because I talk about it a lot. There's lots of platforms where I've explained this, where my father figure had passed away from a stroke, and then my real father had had a stroke, but he didn't pass away. But like I had to come back and take care of him and push and like make sure that I'm there to take care of him. And then in that time, I came to a realization, I'm not happy. And I started figuring out why I'm not happy. It's because I was seeking this affirmation.
Yeah.
I was kept on trying. The reason why I'm pushing so hard for the last 2 years is to tick these boxes that will make people who don't like me like me. And that's what I was trying to go for. And it's like, I'm trying to make the most money in the game. I'm trying to be the
most
hardest,
relevant.
the most relevant, get played the most in radio, get the most this, most of that, most of
Booked
attention,
everywhere.
most bookings, only so that I can please these people that don't like me and convert them and make them feel stupid for not believing in me.
Yeah.
Like I'm.
You know what I suffer from the same thing.
Yeah.
But then there's one story that sticks out to me. I'm like, Jesus had people that didn't like him.
Yes.
Yet he was the most kindest person in the time.
Yes.
Or one of the most kindest.
And he achieved the most.
Exactly. And I'm like, so if you don't like me, it's good. It makes me real.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm real.
It's okay. Exactly.
Because you're not going to be loved by everyone.
Exactly. You hit it on the mark. Because if you look at the example of Jesus, he had people that didn't like him.
Yeah.
To the point that they killed him.
And it's still, the fact that they didn't like it didn't stop him from doing the things that he intended to do.
Exactly.
It didn't stop. So, you just got to put your head down and focus on those positives.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when you read the Gospels and you start looking at Jesus and dissecting his life, you look at most of the time the Pharisees, because they're the ones that didn't like him. The Pharisees they're the ones that had the agenda against him the most.
Let's get him.
They were so caught up with him, yet he paid them no attention. They constantly kept coming at him.
Never spoke about them.
He always dismissed them. They'd come at him and then try test him, and then ask him a question, whatever. And he was so like, when you read it and you read the tone of how the stories are told, he's so dismissive of them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you
Pay no
you guys again, okay. You're gonna irritate me, okay. Let me just
It's
let me give you an answer, done. Now you happy?
Yeah.
You know, like when they were mad that he healed someone on Sabbath. You know, they came and Jesus, how can you do work on the Sabbath? You've now, and it's like, he's just like, you can see that he was like, when you read it, it's almost like I can see it in my head, and it's like, he's just like,
and
is it not better to do good?
It's like, does that matter so much?
Yeah,
Is that more important than saving this person's life?
Then to keep these rules that you guys have made.
Mm.
And it's like, that's life. It's like, you're always gonna have people who are gonna be negative and try and bring that negative into your life and try and like force you into their rabbit hole, their darkness, and drag you into it. And you have the choice to either jump in, go fall into that dark hole, or just be dismissive of it.
Yeah.
Like how Jesus was. He was very dismissive. He's just like,
okay,
done with you. Thanks,
It's
goodbye. Are you
It's
happy?
good.
I'm moving on.
It's good.
I know what I'm doing.
Anyways, you know, when once you have a lot of people paying attention to something, trust me, there's gonna be like
a lot of
more negativity than there was before.
Yeah.
Purely because there's a large number.
There's a larger number, yes.
You know.
And we live in an era where people look for attention through negativity.
Yeah.
So people know that now they figured out, because they know that, okay, if I'm gonna get a response from you, you're less likely to reply if I say something nice.
Yeah.
So let me just say something negative. Even if I don't believe it, I'm just gonna say something negative so I can get attention. Because right now, like, my world is boring. I've got nothing going on for myself right now. So the only way to get your attention is to say something negative.
Yeah. Say something stupid. Do something stupid.
Exactly. So then, now people know that celebrities reply. Like, oh, they're gonna reply if I say something negative.
That's how you get your Twitter following up.
Exactly. So like, people are using it as a strategy to get their come-ups now. So that's why I deliberately make it a point, especially if you look at any of my social media, I try to reply. That's how we even got this interview. I try to reply to positive. So if you say something positive and something that's good, I will reply.
Yeah.
You say something negative,
it's like, okay.
Dismissive. I'll just like, I'll act like it was never there.
Can I tell you, there's something I've been doing on Twitter. You know, on Twitter you get everything. You know, you might, if I'm following you and you happen to be into some freaky things that I'm not interested in, I might end up seeing it.
Yeah.
So one thing I do is like, you know, this is how I started out. At first I was like, okay, anyone who I see those things because of, I'm unfollowing you. But then I realized it's like, yo, you know, there's different types of people. We all interested in different things. So just because you're interested in something I find to be irrelevant to me doesn't mean there's nothing useful I can do with you in future.
Yeah.
So I tend to, if somebody retweets something, maybe it's a picture of a half-naked girl, and I'm like, yo, I'm not here to see that. That's not my vibe. Instead of me unfollowing, that's like, okay, I'll go check. What is there anything important that I can gain from having you
from following
on my list? Instead of you just, you know, either you're posting all these negative posts or these irrelevant posts, or maybe you do have something interesting that I can do
to
with
add. Oh, so you're checking now.
Yeah, it's like social media is...
It's difficult.
It's a jungle.
It is a jungle. But it's like, with anything, you always need to be worried about like what you consuming too much of. And I respect you that you actually unfollow or whatever, or you check when you start seeing these feeds that you don't want to be seeing.
Yeah.
That you actually check. Most people are not even aware of that. Most people are just like, well, I know I don't follow negative or negative pages or whatever, but then they follow people that feed that content to them.
Exactly.
So either way, like, you're still consuming it because of the people you keep close to you, or that you consider family, or whatever the reasons you are following those people. And it's like, you need to also be able to protect your spaces. There's nothing wrong with unfollowing people. Like, Like I understand when people feel touched and they say, "Oh, why'd you unfollow me?" Whatever and all that stuff. It's like, well, maybe I just didn't want to see what you had, like content, like you just saying that you were just posting. It's like it doesn't speak to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to see positive content, because it's amazing how social media has an effect on your mind state.
True.
It's like if you can go into a rabbit hole of social media, just going through your phone and like checking Twitter, going through Instagram. If your feed is just like half naked girls constantly,
that's gonna be your thought.
It's gonna affect your mind state. You know, it's gonna be your thoughts. It's gonna be like,
yeah.
And now I'm thinking about half naked girls
the whole day.
You know what I mean? And it's like you gotta be careful. You gotta balance it out. Like I went through a period where I was like following anyone and everyone, and I was just like, and my feed was just like constantly
toxic.
And that's just what you find. And it's like oh, but you justify it like, oh, it's whatever. Like it's just a follow. It doesn't mean anything. I had to go to a moment and say, no, you know what? Let me unfollow.
Listen, there's one thing that people don't understand about social media networks, especially on this side. I always tell people, it's like, yo, you know, social media, all these social media platforms are tools.
Yeah.
Now, they could be tools of destruction or tools of progress. The choice is yours.
It's how you use it. Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Nothing wrong with them.
You know,
it's how it's used. Yeah.
People will say, no, social media is killing our society. It's not.
Nah.
The people are killing us.
People are yes, you hit it on the mark. It is a tool.
Yeah, it's just a tool.
If you want to use it the right way, you can use it the right way. If you use it the wrong way,
you could use social media. Like you were telling me, you were feeling depressed and you went on YouTube and you watched certain videos.
Yeah.
It's a tool they
helped. Yes.
It's a tool. And
exactly. The same thing that people would say, YouTube is making you like sad. That's no.
Yo, listen, I built this whole thing off of YouTube. Tiny, you know, I've been with Tiny since the beginning, ever since this is what we have. And he also has his own company. It's off of YouTube, you know.
And that's what's up. Like, I respect that. It's the tool. You're using it the right way it's supposed to be used.
Yeah.
And it's like you can decide, okay, I can do what everyone else is doing and just post up funny stuff on YouTube, because I see a lot of like YouTubers now all doing either makeup tutorials or just like, and it's cool. Like that works for you, but doesn't mean that you can't use it for something that's
we can't all be making makeup tutorial videos.
Exactly.
There's only so many.
It's only
you know, somebody else needs to do other things.
Other things, exactly.
You know, and there's one thing that I have a problem with is that, you know, even with, I mean, for me, now I'll tell you something. When I spoke to you and you agreed to come on here, I was like, fuck every other artist that's below you.
Oh, no.
No, I'm serious. The reason I say that is because here people have this mentality of, excuse my French, by the way. People have this mentality that, you know, you want to wait for big platforms to come to your doorstep. Where do you think those platforms come from? They started somewhere.
Yeah.
And if we all aspiring to go be on a platform that's in another place, then, you know, what happens here?
That's you're like, so right.
Aren't we good enough to have our own platforms?
Yeah.
You know, I normally make a reference in the sense that Uzo Zibini won the Miss Universe title.
Yeah.
I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's getting recognition from these bigger platforms. But I just feel like it's so sad that we don't have a platform that she could have come on and told the story, which is catering for the vast majority African audience.
Yes. No, you know, you even use an example of Zozubini. Like, there's a video on YouTube. I don't know if you can find it. I'm not even going to mention the person who was in that video. People search for it to find it. That I saw, where she was, I think, trying to like break as a presenter for Presenter Search on Expresso or something like that, one of these TV shows. Yeah. And she was doing an interview on that show, and on that show there was a bigger celebrity, someone who was famous. This person treats her like shit. Like in that interview, like clearly gives her like the shoulder and whatever, like treats her like she ain't shit. That person now, when she's Miss Universe, out here congratulating and everything. I think that I saw it because someone was pointing out this thing and like, yo,
The audacity.
she started somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now when she was here, doing what she was doing here, you couldn't. Like, you were treating her like she's nothing.
Yeah.
And she was like on your level, sitting at the table with you.
You know, and she at that point, she was a person. She was as real as she could.
She was still the same person. That same person that won Miss Universe.
Yeah.
She was still that same person, but you were belittling her, treating like she's not smart, like she's not capable. Yet now she's won Miss Universe and proved to the world, and the world has acknowledged her and said she is smart, she is capable.
And now you want to embrace her.
Only now you're willing to embrace her. Now you're willing to treat her like she's supposed to be treated. It's like, I have a huge problem with that in the world in general. Like,
Yeah, that's so true.
people don't see things for what they are. They only see it for what the rest of the world sees it as. So it's like, I can look at a diamond and say, well, that's just a shiny rock.
Yeah.
Till someone comes and says, yo, I'll give you $1 million for that rock. Oh, no. This is my rock. This is everything to me. Now you're going to treat it like it's something special. Till someone gave it value.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like, how people cannot appreciate just what it is. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter, because the world can put value on anything. You know, they can put value on garbage.
Yeah. True.
And if you are living your life based on how people put value on things, then you live with garbage. You can honestly end up living your entire life with
That's
garbage.
true, because nothing is of a value to you. You're waiting for people to tell you.
To tell you what the value is. Exactly.
I think that's why also the South African music industry now is not growing at the rate that it should be, is because that the platforms that we have, which is radio and the little bit of TV that we have,
Yeah.
they all seek to embrace this how am I gonna say it, certain type of artist. Like, you know, it can't be that
if you're hot right now,
exactly.
If Twitter or social media has said you're trending, you are the trending
then your music is good.
Then your music is good.
Nobody actually takes time to sit down and go listen and make an informed opinion. Before I put you in front of these cameras, I can be glad to say, yo, your latest album,
you've got something. You're saying
something. I listened to it, and actually there's this track called Situation.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that. What were you thinking when you're talking about those things that you're talking about?
You hit it on the mark. You literally, you got it 110% right. That is the biggest problem with media. That's the biggest problem with society, is that we've got this mentality where we don't look at substance. We only care about perception. Like, it's not about the substance. It's about the perception. It's everybody doesn't. And that's why we're not benefiting, we're not growing, because you're not taking, like, for example, water. Like, water is gold.
Yeah.
This is the most precious thing.
Everyone knows it.
In the entire world. But people treat it like garbage.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. They're like, but if I put them away here, I'll put a champagne, something that destroys your body, that adds no value to your body, makes you make bad decisions, makes you like all kinds of things, but because it's got like that title of Moe,
yeah, and the packaging,
and it's got this value in terms of money that society has given it, you put them two next to each other, someone who is thirsty, and you say, okay, grab one of them, I'm giving you, pick one. He'll grab them away, walk away.
Yeah,
even though this is what he needs.
And I probably think that nobody would want to pose with a bottle of water.
It's the value system is all screwed. We've created this over time and centuries. Like we've created this warped perception of reality. That the things that really matter, the things that are in front of us that are of value, we don't appreciate.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Like we just play them down based, and that's also I think in economics they call it economics of scarcity or something, where something's more valuable, the more scarce it is.
Oh.
You know, like
Yeah.
so they deliberately create shortages on purpose. Even if there's something that they have,
Yeah.
they'll create a shortage
It's like
to
those,
increase its value.
It's like those Louis luggage bags.
Yes.
I heard if it doesn't sell, they take it and go destroy it.
There you go.
Instead of putting it on sale.
Scarcity.
And somebody else would think that, okay, yo, that's cool. That means that's the brand I need to rock.
And they get more money for it. And it's like, well, did it serve the purpose of carrying your luggage? or carrying your makeup or whatever you're carrying in that bag? Like,
yeah.
Or is it just because you've created this perception of it being important?
Yeah. Bro, time is not on our side.
We could talk forever.
We need 3 hours for Aewon Wolf. But I don't want to cut you so early, so a few things I need us to touch on.
Cool.
Let's talk about your album, your latest album, The Return. It's out. It's available on all music streaming platforms. People can go get it.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, what was the creative process like for that project specifically?
The creative process, to be honest with you, I'm being like 100% honest. It's like it was so quick.
Yeah.
This album was very quick to make, and it was quick because I just made the decision like out of nowhere. I think I woke up one day and I said, okay, I'm going to studio and I'm going to just work on this project, and I think I'm ready to come back and make it clear to people that I'm coming back. And when I started working on it, the music was just natural. So every song I never write on pen and pad or whatever, on phone or whatever. I just go straight into the studio, we create the beat and so forth, and then I listen. I sit for like an hour or so in the studio and I just listen to the song and I let the song like tell me what I need to say. Like that's the way I always describe it, as sculpting.
Keep it real as possible.
Yeah. And with sculpting, I think there was a sculptor who said it's they asked him, how do you sculpt like this? He's like, no, the sculpture's always in the rock. It was always in there. I just chip away to reveal it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just always there. So,
wow, that's so poetic.
So that's how I feel about music. It's like when I hear like the beats or whatever we created, it's like I can hear the song, but it's just not clear yet.
Yeah.
It's like I just need to pick out the words. They're there.
Yeah.
They just need to be. That's how I felt, and that's what I did with this project. I just spoke my reality. I just spoke what was in my mind, what I was feeling from the music, and it created itself. So when what you listen to is just my thoughts and my heart and where it's at right now. So when I have a song like Situation, that was my thoughts at that moment, and I was just like, I need to talk about this thing of how we hate each other.
That's so true. Not even each other, ourselves.
Ourselves. Yes. That's the reason we hate each other, is because we hate ourselves and we see ourselves in each other. So everything that we hate about ourselves, when we see someone else, we're like, we see the things we hate in someone else, we're like, I hate it a lot more, and I'm gonna just use you as my vessel to get it out. Like, so I'm gonna like point out all your flaws, and as black people, we have had that issue for the longest time, is that you hate each other because we've been taught to hate ourselves. We've been taught to hate black. We've been taught to hate everything that makes us who we are. And when we look at each other it reminds us of that. So we just immediately think, okay, like when you walk into a store and a security decides to just follow you because you're black,
Yeah.
but it's a black security, and it's like,
Or maybe you arrive somewhere, maybe you see a Caucasian person.
yeah,
They walk through, nothing gets asked. You come there, there's a whole lot of questions.
there's a whole lot of questions. It's what we were taught,
Yeah.
you know, and we were taught this, and it's like it's become reality because we were taught it, you know, like the argument would be, okay, well, because Vele, like, Otak, the ones that are stealing from us,
Yeah.
or they robbed us, or they robbed us last week, or not. It's like, but you only see me for my skin color now. You're not even looking at the type of person I am.
Yeah.
We can agree, okay, we have to be smart about things and say, okay, reality, let's be real. This type of person is stealing. But now your whole argument is based on my skin color. Did you even hear how I talk?
Yeah.
Do you even hear like the way that I
mean,
carry myself? Or
until somebody says something, you don't know how they think.
Exactly. Like, you're not even paying attention to anything else. You've only now made this decision that you must follow me because of my skin color. You're not using your intuitive brain anymore beyond skin color. You know, and you ask yourself sometimes, it's like, okay, cool. Then if that's how the world is, how do we fix it? You know, how do we fix it? Like, if we need to make people aware.
I think it's exactly. It's important just to make make people aware of these things. Because I mean, like in our music, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like until now, like maybe since last year or 2018, only now do we see you guys referencing this in your music.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, there's another thing that musicians don't understand. Artists.
Yeah.
They don't understand the power that they have through their art.
Very true.
You know, and what you say, you know, has so much of an effect. You know, and I appreciate how you using your artistry and the platform that you have off of your artistry.
Yeah.
I mean, sharing that kind of information, because as far as the black community is concerned in this country, those are the issues that we now need to pay attention to, because you know, I know there's poverty and all those kind of things, but in order for us to even get close to a situation where we can tackle those things such as poverty and crime and all those kind of those are the things we need to readdress.
Yeah, it's very true. We're not going to get better unless we start
loving ourselves.
Exactly. You hit it on the mark. And artists will, and that's where, going back to the point where I was saying that, remember I said hip hop has influence, and I knew that this is what I used to sell to brands.
Yeah.
That's the thinking I had when I did this project. I said, let me come back. Let me push the same hustle.
Yeah.
But this time, let me sell something positive. It won't catch as quick as selling something that's already seen as cool or something that, you know, people are already used to praising. But if I put the same hustle and sell people on this, a positive lifestyle, you know, a healthy lifestyle, something about, you know, making you better in terms of your mental and your spiritual.
Here's another thing that I picked up. Sorry to cut you.
No, it's okay.
On Uthando Lwami.
Yeah.
I think there's a line where you go, by the end of the show, you could be my wife.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, the choice of words. You know, a rapper would normally, by the end of the show, you could be my
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'd actually changed the line. It used to be, it's funny that you actually picked that up, because originally the line was, you could be my girl.
Yeah.
And I said, no, let me say you could be my wife.
Because that's the mentality that you want to grow amongst the community.
Yeah.
You know, family is very important. You know, you cannot live alone as an island, as a man. Because that's when you start getting weird ideas.
And you need to pick a wife.
Yes.
Finding a wife is a good thing. I'm happy that
it's not a bad thing.
yeah,
You
and
know,
I'm
it's high time we have that conversation in this country
yeah,
where not everyone is out there looking for goals
yeah. Cause hey, bro,
or looking to conquer goals.
yeah, that's you'll never finish. There's more women in this world than there are men.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally lose your mind trying to finish.
Yeah.
So I know what it's done for me, and I always say this is that as much as I have a girlfriend, we're not married by the books.
Yeah.
She is like my wife.
Yeah.
I treat her like my wife.
Yeah.
Like I give her that.
You
that
just
respect.
mentioned earlier like the role that she's playing. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have somebody, imagine that you could have been losing your mind if you had goals, and none of those goals would have been around to tell you, yo, no, you need to come.
Put you in check and be able to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, because the goals, the only thing
They're
they
just
care
good
about
times.
is good times.
Oh, you lost 100,000. That means you're not gonna pop bottles no more. What is like that? That
I'm
would
not
be
getting
the-
my weave.
You know, like you're not gonna fly me to Greece. No,
Yeah.
you said you're gonna fly me to Greece. You know, like or something. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for that I have a girlfriend instead of have like a girlfriend who's a wife.
Yeah.
Like, cause for me, we always call ourselves a life partner.
Yeah.
So like, if I refer to her and people like I'm like my life partner or whatever, because
Mm.
the only reason we haven't gotten like the official thing, whatever, is because I guess there's things that we need to deal with in terms of
Yeah.
the world's pressures and perception and all that stuff, because we don't want to necessarily jump into that those titles that the world has created, because
And mind you,
expectations.
why should you let that define the relationship that
Exactly.
you have? You know, that could be a step that you get to when the time is right.
Exactly.
You know, but the fact that even though you might get to that point,
Yeah.
it possibly won't change anything because you guys have
Yeah.
have a relationship that you've been working on for this time and it's working. So something is saying, okay, we're married now. Something's gonna change.
No, and that's the thing. Is like everyone expects it to change. And
Yeah.
there's expectations, especially from family.
Yeah.
That like once you put that title or you're going to create this title, like okay, you have to do A, B, C, and D, and F, and G, and whatever. And it's like, but do we have to?
Yeah. What about what we think?
You know what I mean? It's like people put themselves into debt, get married.
Yeah.
It's like you're setting yourself up. You're setting your whole life up for failure.
Yeah.
Because you have this wedding, this big wedding, and then you're married, and then now what?
Yeah. It's like they expect like nothing changes the next day. Because something does change. It's just
Yeah.
the two of you.
Yeah.
and everyone else that was there
Yeah.
going hoo-ha about this major,
They back to their lives and don't
Yeah.
care.
you know. So actually, it's quite admirable. You're a good role model on that. I'd like to give you props. Because, I mean, you know, like on Friday, Tiny, I met these young kids through
Yeah.
Tiny. They wanted him to shoot their video.
Oh, okay.
And they're so talented, bro.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, me being the person that I am, so I started asking them questions like, okay, yo, is your thing registered?
Yeah.
You're registering the music? Like, no. I'm like, so, but you're putting out music? They're like, yeah. I'm like, aren't you afraid someone's going to steal that? It's like, yeah, but we like making music. I'm like, you know, there are kids that get into music or
Yeah.
to the music industry and they just like music.
Yeah.
And only to realize that later on, just them liking music and not paying attention to certain things, it might end up affecting their lives in a manner that they did not anticipate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously having people like you who have gone through that of being a kid that just liked making music,
Yeah.
and along the way you got to these doors where you had to learn lessons.
Yeah.
And here you are, you sharing that not only here but through the music.
Yeah.
It's quite valuable.
And hopefully it's just a start. Like, hopefully there's other musicians who follow the wave.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I hate taking responsibility for other people's actions, but I feel also responsible sometimes when I start like because there's waves that I know that I've started
Mm.
that I've very been involved in engineering, and it's like when I see like a certain wave like being used in a negative way, I was like, why did I do that? It's like, why did I even do that?
I shouldn't.
I shouldn't have. It's
Yeah.
like maybe I should have just left things the
I
way
know.
they
I
were.
know what you're talking about.
And it's like, and then now it's like time to say, okay, cool. Now that I'm wiser and I'm older and I have knowledge, maybe start a new wave. Because these kids, not only these kids, but a lot of guys who have power and influence are watching.
True.
Like I know for a fact there's like certain big stars, people that people consider like the top of the game, watching exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Watching every single thing I do. And I know this because they slip up and they tell me like when they see me, but I'm like, yo, I didn't see no comment from you in the comment section, no like, no nothing, but you telling me you saw this and you dig it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I know you watching secretively.
Yeah.
You watching on the low, because when you have a verified profile, whatever, it always shows. It's not like I can miss it.
Yeah.
You know? so like I know these people are watching.
Yeah.
And it's like I can see also their moves change after they seen some things that I've done. So now I know that this power is there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this positive wave becomes a real wave, because I know that they, not just my influence is only a certain like amount, but it's the right people, and those people have an influence, and that's the only way we actually change the whole game.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just not in a good state.
Yeah, it's not we're not doing well, but like we got to stay optimistic.
Yeah.
Stay positive. We can't just being all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
So right now, what are visuals? You only have one visual out for Cool Kids.
Cool Kids is the only visual I've got out now. But there's gonna be visuals like for almost every song on this project.
Okay.
So, because like I'm also a visual creator, like
absolutely.
Yeah. So so I create as well.
If you don't know.
Yeah. So that's definitely a thing I'm gonna be doing. This whole phone thing threw me off a little bit. Just slowed me down by a week. But I'm back into it this week. I'm already shooting visuals this week again. And we'll be releasing the same visuals next week, the following week.
Shout out to that. And your YouTube channel, my man, you so busy, and not only that, but you using your platform to its capacity. You also on YouTube providing content, how to make it in the South African music industry.
Yeah, so I'm trying. Like I said, I'm a creator. I like creating.
Yeah,
that's my calling.
What's the direction with that?
So basically I'm just trying to like right now I've just been doing interviews. I've got like a whole bunch more like of just like celebrities, because people care about like people's stories and stuff, and people who they've watched stories. So I just wanted people to share what they perspective on how to make it in South African music industries, just to give perspective and a background. But the next step now I'm gonna do, I'm basically covering like step by step things for people to do. So like the first one I'm doing is how to register with SAMRO. Oh, how to register your music with SAMRO.
Very important.
Yeah. So exactly. So like I always say this to people, but I never realized like it's actually a little more complicated.
It's quite a mission.
Yeah, and especially if you're not like, I was lucky that SAMRO came to me.
Yeah.
They came to me and they said, hey, you need to register your music. Where are you now? Type of thing. I'm like, I remember I was in Florida Road. I was like, I'm on Florida Road. They're like, okay, we're going to come to you. And they came to me and they literally gave me everything. And
papers,
they did everything. And I was like, I did this a long time ago. I remember I registered with you guys, but you guys don't have my music because I didn't know how to register my music with you guys.
Are you also covering why it's important?
Yeah.
Like
no, it's important. Yeah, I'm going to tell them why.
Okay.
There's lots of money they're losing out on if they're not there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Other than that, do you have any other events? I know you also host events.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a new style of events. I'm not gonna host like the traditional event.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to create this new thing of like value add of experiences versus just a concert. You know, like usually concert, okay, pay tickets at the door, walk in, sit at a table, maybe you get a couple of drinks, whatever, and then watch the show
Yeah.
at the end of the night. I don't want that.
Okay. What are we moving to now?
I'm trying
Here's
to.
a new wave.
Yeah, this is the new wave. I'm trying to create experience. So I'm busy right now. This is all idea stage.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking at taking people to the mountains, like straight up on some. Cause I enjoy hiking. I enjoy like
The
traveling.
great outdoors.
Yeah, great outdoors, and there's lots of beautiful locations. So I want to take shows to those locations, places with amazing views and stuff. And then I want to take like someone who's like a yoga instructor or a fitness instructor and say, okay, cool, you guys are gonna come with and be part of this experience.
Yeah.
So we might start with the breakfast at this location, and then we take a hike to this location, and then we do like a fitness whatever thing. Then we go to this location, and then that's where the music
It's
element
gonna
to happen,
yeah.
and then we'll all connect.
It's
here
a
for
whole
bonfire.
experience.
Yeah.
It's,
So
it's not just
not just
show up, see, go home.
exactly. You're gonna come back feeling a lot better. Like I want people to leave there and say, "Yo, I need to. This needs next week. We're doing this without A1. Like we coming just for the hike.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the hike, or
Even though the music is not here, it's
it's not
fine.
here. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, let's just do yoga. We're now connected with people that are similar to us. Let's connect at the beach every Wednesday. You know, like I want people who come to my shows or come to my experiences to also connect with each other and start living positive lifestyles together. So it's like I want them to leave there saying, you know, as much as we all enjoyed the show, we now have something
Outside of the show.
outside of the show, yes, that makes us better.
True.
So yeah, that's the goal.
Oh. Well, we can't wait for that. We'll be front in line.
We'll appreciate it.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll just ruin this whole beautiful podcast we just had. Varsity Fest. Do you have any links with that?
Varsity Fest, I have no links with it. We hosted it at the warehouse.
No.
That was as far as I went with that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't not my event at all.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. Just making
Yeah.
sure.
No.
But other than that, thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for spending some time and coming out to join
Thank
us on
you.
the podcast. I wish we had more time. But definitely this, the door is always open. I have to tell you
Appreciate
this
it.
in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to come back.
All good.
Yeah.
I hope you break up this interview into sections.
Yeah, it's very long.
Yeah. Like you need take snippets and post the snippets. I gave this advice to another podcast that I was on.
Yeah.
And they just put the full thing, and it's like, yo, nobody got time to sit for like a full hour, 2 hours. I don't know how long we've been talking for.
See, that's another thing. Like, I'm short-staffed. We short-staffed. Yeah, it's just me and my man
Yeah.
over there. And
But chop it up. I'm telling you, like that's how Joe Rogan does it. And
Yeah.
I watch those snippets, and then I go back to watch
the full podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know how I do it. It's like I normally use IGTV.
Yeah.
So I put like a 10 minutes
Oh,
snippet
okay, that'd be
on
cool. Yeah.
purely just to get people interested. And obviously Instagram is more access, more people. Then
Yeah.
YouTube getting subscribers,
Yeah.
all those kind of things. So for now I just use Instagram and my Twitter.
Okay.
So I'll put snippets there and just to
Yeah.
entice people. But yeah, that's definitely what we're gonna do. We're not gonna obviously the full interview is gonna be available for one to watch, but we definitely gonna chop it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Easy.
Thank you for coming on
No
to the
problem.
podcast. We appreciate you, and thank you for Jessica for sitting
there quietly. That's my baby.
allowing us to talk about her sometimes.
Yes.
Once again, thank you. Thanks. This episode was proudly brought to you by my man, Tiny Films. You can check out his documentary on Tiny Films Production right here on YouTube. Otherwise, you can subscribe. Find the subscribe button somewhere in the corner here.
Subscribe.
And obviously, don't forget, subscribe to Aewon's YouTube channel. He's got some very informative content.
Yeah, but subscribe to their channel first.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah. And if you on Aewon's channel, don't mind subscribing here.
Yeah.
We all family now.
I'll share this. I'll share this.
Definitely. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us next time. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at GNPS_podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at General_Ngini. On Instagram, it's at General_Nginiela. I don't know if you want to give them your social media handles.
It's at Aewon Wolf on everything. AEWON Wolf.
And if anyone doesn't know where to find you to book you, where do they find you?
You can't book me. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. No, if you have any inquiries, you can hit me up at arnoldphillips@gmail.com. That's my personal email address, and I've always used it for business. People always thought that Arnold Phillips was not me, someone else.
He's given out his
I am my own manager. Yes. So yeah, hit me up with my email for any inquiries. But generally, if it's a club booking, don't try. But if it's any other event, explain it to me. Maybe I'll do the show.
Yeah, shout out.
All right.
Peace out. Catch us next time.